Alrighty, so welcome back to this channel. Today we are going to be doing some lamb mince, and it's going to be a lamb mince bolognese. So the first thing we're going to do, excuse the noise, the window's open, it's a pain in the ass, but it's just so the place doesn't steam up and my phone doesn't get the brunt of it. So first of all, we're going to just plug all this in and turn it on ready. Now, I'm not going to be adding any oil or anything in because mince has its own oils, so we're just going to put the lamb mince in. Now we're using 500 grams for the bolognese, so we're just going to stick that in for now. And then wait for the pan to heat up a bit better, and then we're just going to mix it around. In this lamb mince, I'm going to be adding a whole lot of spices, spices and herbs. But first, before we get there, I've had some suggestions. So this is one of the suggestions I'm trying to work hard on, is so you can all see properly what I do and the process that I go through, instead of just seeing half of it and little parts of it. So the mince has started to sizzle, so we're going to use this wooden spoon and get the mince cooking. Just like this. Just going to wait for this to brown up a bit. Hopefully you can see enough of what's going on. Took me a while to try and figure out the way to do it, but we got there eventually. So we're just going to let this mince brown up. But while it's doing that, I'm going to go and grab the spices and herbs. Right, so the spices and herbs we're going to be using is some Master Foods oregano leaves. Give it a decent amount, don't go stingy on it. And then we're going to use some paprika. Again, decent amounts, don't go stingy on any of this really. And then we've got some parsley leaves that we're going to be putting in here. Lots of them, make it tasty. And the next one is rosemary leaves, right there. Lots and lots of them. And the last one that we're going to be using is this. I can never pronounce it, thyme, whatever, but that's what we're going to use. So sprinkle that around. Then we're going to just mix the mince around and let it cook right through for a bit before we add anything else. And I'm thinking I might actually stick some tin tomatoes in with it too, because we've got a tin laying around here, so I might do that as well. But I'll add that in when this mince gets a bit more brown, because at the moment it's not quite brown enough. And in the background I am listening to my DVD that I've seen 1,000 times before, but I like it that much, and so I listen to that while I'm cooking. I can multitask, sometimes triple task, it depends what's going on. So we've got this, and it's still trying to brown up, but it's getting there. And while this is browning up, I'm just going to go and see what vegetables we've got in the freezer to use. So, we've got some beans, and some peas. And some of these too. So, the vegetables that I'm going to be using is some Australian baby beans. I'm not a fan of beans, but they're not as bad as what they seem, so I am slowly getting there with them. So you can stick those in whenever you're... I'm actually going to put the rest in because there's not much. So there we go, that would have been about half a bag of baby beans. You can shove the vegetables in while the mince is browning because it's still noticeable. You know, you can still see that they're browning. The mince is browning. Alrighty, so just mix these beans around a bit, and then we will get them to just mix through the mince a little bit. And the mince is still browning up, which is good. Also, just checking the pantry to see what else we can chuck in. When I do these bologneses, what I do is I just chuck a whole lot of random stuff in it. I just chuck whatever in it, and it actually ends up being very tasty. So when you're doing this, you can just put in whatever you prefer to use. Like most people could use garlic and onions and all that. But in this household, we don't use much garlic and onions. In fact, we don't use onions at all. We don't use much garlic. So, but that's okay because, you know, each to their own kind of thing. So the next veggie that we're going to stick in, it's actually two types of veggie. I was going to stick peas in, but we actually don't have any peas in the inside freezer. So what I'm doing is I'm using what vegetables we have in the inside freezer to get rid of them first. So I just used the last lot of the beans, which was, as I think I said before, half a bag. Now we're going to stick in classic duo of cauliflower and broccoli. We've got probably over half a bag of them that I'm just going to use anyway. Just the more vegetables, the more the merrier. I think that's the wording. So stick all that in, mix it around just like this. Don't know if it will look very appetizing right now, but that's okay, because at the end of the day it will be very appetizing. Yeah, so hope everyone's day is going very, very well today for a Sunday. Here it's crappy weather. It's been windy as and raining for like, must be day 4 by now, something like that. So yeah, not a hell of a lot going on here. So now, since the mince is browned up, we're just going to open up this tin of tomatoes ready. I'm not quite going to pour it in yet because I have to just double check that the mince is fine. If it's not fully done, it's okay, because when the lid goes on and everything seems to be boiling, it'll soften the bigger veggies up and it'll cook everything else perfectly fine. So, although the mince is looking like it actually is cooked up properly, so now we're going to add in some organically farmed diced tomatoes. So we're just going to stick the whole can in because it's only a little can. We're going to do that. Yep, that should be right. And we're going to mix these tomatoes all the way through everything. So there is some colour going into this. Oh, that's what else I was going to chuck in. Yes, we're going to chuck in one more bit of green just to get it used up. And that is the last of our fresh baby spinach. So we're just going to chuck the whole lot in, just so it doesn't go yuck before it's used. So this pan is quite filled up with everything now. We've still got the sauce to chuck in, the other sauce that I use. So that'll be good. So right now what we're going to do is I'm just going to chuck the and just mix these around quickly. Yep. And then I was going to wait till it's mixed around a bit, and then I'm going to pour the pasta baked sauce in. It's Legos. I think that's how you pronounce it. Legos, that brand. I'll show you in a minute after I've mixed this around enough. So, okay. Just let this cook a bit. Right. Scissors. You can use different sauces as well, but we're going to use Legos pasta baked with creamy tomato and mozzarella. So it's this one. It's actually very nice. So we're just going to tip this in now. One whole can. Jar, not can. Try and get it in. Wonder if this spoon will fit in the jar. Yeah, the spoon does fit in the jar. And then, after I've got it all out, I'm going to get as much as I can out now, and then mix this around like this. But first I'm going to add a little bit of water to the jar and shake it up to try and get the rest of the stuff out. Just like this. Yeah, there we go. Just going to put this in and mix this around. We're going to, okay, put this in the sink. We'll rinse it out after. So we're going to mix this out. And I'm getting a video call. I'll contact that person back later. Okay, so we've got all this mixed in now. So what I'm going to do right this minute is just give this spoon a rinse off, because for some reason I've got all the sauces all the way up the handle, which is getting all over me. So we're just going to go and grab the lid for this and put the lid on. Sorry, got a bit sidetracked with my DVD. So we're going to let this just simmer for a few minutes to try and soften up those veggies, and hopefully the flavouring will come in. And until then, I'm just going to quickly tidy up, so I'll just put you on pause for now, just until I finish cleaning up, and then I will get back to you when I'm ready to take the lid off. Alright, we're back, and it's simmering along very, very, very well. It's going to be very saucy, but actually what I might do while it's simmering away, no I won't, it's okay. Right, so simmering away very well here, and you can stick this with like what I'm thinking of doing is either sticking it with some mashed potato, and I'm going to mash up some of the kumara as well because I'm going to try all that, or with some pasta, gluten-free pasta. But at the moment I'm just going to cook it as is, the way it is now, and then when it comes to the time when it's going to get eaten, then make that decision with what will go with it. Or you can even have it on toast, maybe. You know, good old mince on toast. So there's lots of options that we could go with. So that is the lamb mince bolognese that I have done today. So all I'm going to do now is dish it up into some containers to portion it out, and when it cools down, freeze it. So again, thanks for watching this channel today, and don't forget to like, subscribe and enjoy. Thank you very much again for watching today. Bye.